I think Battlefield's one of those games that if I had never heard of it beforehand, I don't think I would have taken the time to play it.
I would still be raging on Call of Duty.
Yeah, and I'm glad that it's saved me from that embarrassment.
Another one of the features I noticed today was swimming. There's now two different types of swimming, or there's three different kinds of swimming. You have the normal swimming, like in Battlefield 3, except you can now use your pistol. You have underwater swimming, and you have speed swimming, or what they call sprint swimming, which you swim a whole lot faster.
See, now that's interesting to see because that adds a whole level of gameplay and how you choose to move around the map. And you can choose to be stealthy and then like swim underwater until you get to your target, or
And it's
you can just, and you also have the option to get to locations really quickly with the sprint swim. So it's interesting to see how it turns out.
That's very true.
another thing about swimming underwater is apparently you're supposed to be able to place C4 underwater. So if you can sneak up to a boat and plant C4 on it, you can blow it up without anybody knowing.
But I think that's going to add a whole new element of base rape. Because I guarantee the jet skis are going to be used a lot, like the rib boats, just for transportation. And if, say...
Jihad boating.
Yeah, jihad jet skis would be kind of funny. But I believe that people, if it's not so easily noticed, like it's not very easily noticed on Battlefield 3, the C4 on the jet ski is just going to cause a lot of frustration.
That's very true. Actually, when you were talking about the jet skis, it reminded me. In Battlefield 4, there's also going to be a whole lot of new animations, like character animations. One of which I saw is the player is riding on the jet ski and he's being shot at, and so he takes a couple of shots and then he raises his left arm to try, and he blocks his face, and it's a first person and third person animation. So it's amazing what they've done to the game, how much better really it is.
I think an implementation should be customizable actions. Maybe 2 or 3 different knife animations if they choose to go that route again. A few animations for getting out of vehicles, getting in vehicles, and a second death animation. At least one more death animation. I'm just tired of dying and just having my hand put up. That's kind of... I know it's a silly thing to, complain about, but...
And on the topic of the knifing, there's now 2 different types of melee weapons. You have your normal knife, and you have a shiv.
That is the first
Yes.
I've heard of this.
Shiv or a shank, one or the other, but yes.
I believe it's a shank, actually. I think it is a shank. But it looks like a screwdriver. Just a sharpened screwdriver.
So
that's all it looks
almost like an ice pick.
Almost like an ice pick.
Pretty much, yes. And then again, going back to animations, because of that, you'll have a lot more animations, or at least a couple new animations for the shank or shiv, whichever one it is. So back animation, the front one, the side. It's going to be really interesting to see what they come up with.
Definitely. I think entrances to the battlefield should be another implementation. Maybe instead of just spawning, like in the beginning of the commander mode, I noticed on the video that people were arriving in helicopters. Is that scripted, or is that just people just flying the helis and dropping people off?
I think that was scripted, but it was actual people doing it. I'm not entirely sure, because that was the launch trailer for the multiplayer, so they wanted it to look good.
Yeah.
But it all depends on who's flying and what, if they're gonna listen to the commander, or what the commander can tell them. But flying is going to be different because I think there's like, I'm not entirely sure how many helicopters are in a match, but there's 64 people. So there's 32 people per team and like 2 or 3 choppers. So it's really gonna be a big factor on who gets to fly and when.
It's definitely going to be a hectic. Especially when it first happens.
People start to get used to it.
Yeah, I believe once when people get into a groove of how they feel they're going to play, things like that, it's not going to be very much a factor. Because just like in Battlefield 3, people know that they can fly, people know they can't fly, so they, tend to avoid that kind of thing.
That's true, but that's not all people. Then again,
Right.
Definitely
you do have
not.
people that,
Want to experiment.
that they want to try, but they get yelled at because they can't fly, so they never touch the helicopter or jets again. And I think it's not a good thing because you never get the chance to fly, and that's a big feature of Battlefield.
Truly is. I do like that they've stuck with that over the years.
now I want to take a different route. Actually, move away from just gameplay wise, and I want to talk about DLCs because we know for sure that there are 2 different DLCs coming out already. There's the China Rising, which you get with pre-ordering, and then
And
there
Drone
is
Strike is also a pre-order bonus.
actually. It's a good thing you said that because Drone Strike was a working title for China Rising. DICE confirmed that after there was like a lot of confusion.
Well,
So yeah, so we have China Rising, and then we have, I believe it's called First Assault or Second Assault, sorry, which is like launches first on Xbox One. So, do you think it's a good idea that they're already revealing their ideas about DLC? Because I know for a fact they didn't do that a lot in Battlefield 3.
I think, see, I don't like the fact of first day DLC where you pay 65 bucks for a game, and then you have to pay another 15 to 20 for downloadable content, because I think they're giving you an incomplete game and you're just paying to get the rest of it.
that's if you don't pre-order it.
That's if you don't pre-order, and I don't. So it makes it harder to not justify pre-ordering when you get free DLC.
That's true.
Yeah. See, the thing is, I mean, I'm getting Battlefield 4 for next gen, and one thing I'm hoping is that that pre-order bonus carries on when you can pre-order for next gen, which I'm sure they will do it, but I don't know, they haven't revealed anything yet.
I don't see why it wouldn't. Like, I don't know why they'd want to screw you over that much if you've already got it pre-ordered for this gen instead of next gen.
All I know is if you play on PS3 and then move on to next gen, you have to start all over again.
See, I don't think I'd like that. There's no way to push your stuff over.
There's no cross-gen saves.
But
So
I don't know. I don't know if I like that at all.
I personally, I agree with that decision because if you've played, say, a couple of, what is it, like a month on current gen and then you move on to next gen, you can easily have unlocked weapons that next gen players obviously don't have. So I mean, it seems kind of unfair to give current gen players that advantage. But the other side would be they're buying the game twice, so I mean,
Yeah.
It's a continuous argument, really.
Well, speaking of that kind of thing, do you think that they're gonna do like they did in BF3 and have the pay to play or the pay to win packs? Maybe
I
not at launch, but perhaps.
like, I think they did that a few months down the road.
Yeah. I don't. Hmm.
I don't like how Battlefield is going the pay-to-win way. I'd rather personally unlock all of my stuff by leveling up, because I mean, I like the feeling when I unlock stuff by actually trying.
It takes away the challenge and the
Exactly.
reward. You don't get rewarded for trying.
Let's elaborate on this unlocking for a minute. One thing I did enjoy about Black Ops was the monetary system that they enveloped in that game. Do you believe that it's just gonna stay standard Battlefield to where points wise you get this and level wise you get this, or are we gonna have some new way to unlock items?
I think from all the footage I've seen, it's definitely going to remain. You unlock this and this after so many kills, or at such and such level.
And I like it that way, because if you think about it, Black Ops, that system, it's just it's just pretty much the more you play, the better stuff, or the more stuff you can unlock. And it doesn't seem really fair. I mean, you don't have to, in Battlefield, you don't have to play a lot to level up. If you get enough points, you can level up easier. So, you know what I'm trying to
Yeah, it's like in I didn't mean to cut you off there, Addy, but it's like you in Battlefield just play and you'll get the points. It's like take Halo for instance. You really don't get anything unless you win. I like that implemented in Battlefield because say you're not on a very good team and the other team is a lot higher levels than you are, and I mean you do average and you still get the points. It is not all taken away from you.
That's true. That's very true. I hope. I mean, they have three factions for this game. They have the Chinese, the Russians, and of course the US. So, does that mean you unlock more stuff per level, or does that mean you have more levels to go through? I mean, in Battlefield 3, we had the cap at Colonel level 100, and you unlocked everything way before that you reach there. So, I mean, level-wise, that is. So what I'm trying to say is, will you have more unlocks per level, or more levels to unlock? If that makes sense, really.
Yeah, I got you. I don't know. I'm really excited for it to see what else they have in store.
I mean, we still have 2 months before the game releases on October 29th, so there's a lot more time to get a lot more information. But as of right now, they're kind of keeping us in the dark.
Which is a good thing in my opinion. I don't want to know everything about a game before I buy it. That's kind of like, reading the strategy guide before the game even comes out.
And I think it's a good thing that it kind of causes a buildup of hype, and it's definitely going to be a good game to play once it comes out.
Oh, I'm total agreeing.
See, I think that's why they're doing it, because they want to build up more hype. I think it's just about the fact that they're building up a lot of hype, that they're keeping stuff in the dark. They want more people to be excited, to pre-order. In general, they just want more money, if you think of it that way. So the more hype, the more money they get.
Maybe that's why they showed a DLC map in the alpha instead of a vanilla map.
Wait, Shanghai is a DLC map?
I thought it was part of the China Rising. I may be completely wrong.
I don't know, actually. They haven't told us, but if you look back to the Battlefield 3, in Battlefield 3, for the beta, I'm pretty sure they showed Metro, was it?
Yep, there was nothing but Metro.
Yeah, and Metro ended up being a vanilla map, so I'm expecting Shanghai to be a vanilla map, but you have a good point how it could easily be part of the China Rising.
I want to switch it up a little bit. You guys feel like talking about campaign? What do you think we can expect from campaign?
I think the campaign looks completely different than Battlefield 3. I mean, there's almost different like playstyles. Like you can be the run and gun, or you can flank around and come in from behind. There's different ways to play the game.
It's not very linear like the Battlefield 3 campaign was. And DICE have said that they've admitted that it's not going to be linear at all. They want it to be player focused, so.
That's good.
And also, again, moving on, I'm gonna compare back and forth between Battlefield 3. In Battlefield 3, you played as several different characters. I'm not sure how many, but in Battlefield 4, you only stick to one character, so the character that you get to play as, that's the character you are the entire campaign, without changing.
Do you think we'll get to choose a character, or maybe customize one of our own?
I don't think so, actually. I don't.
I want to see a loadout customization before a campaign mission, where you can choose what guns and what attachments you have. I think that's really what I want in a game. I want to be able to choose what I want to fight with, not what the game gives me to fight with.
So that brings it back to Future Soldier. Future Soldier allows you to do that.
And I believe Black Ops 2 too. Also,
all of Tom Clancy's games, in fact, allow you to do that. Before I mentioned,
I believe Modern Warfare 3 did it. I'm not entirely sure. I know Black Ops 2 did it, and that was probably one of my favorite parts of the game.
I never played either of those.
moving just for a short while, moving away from the campaign, actually, when you brought up the new battle log, did you see the new features that the new battle log was going to have?
Actually, I haven't.
There was a new video released about all the new features battle log will have, my favorite of which is a second screen. So if you have a tablet or say a second monitor, you can open up battle log on that and then have that as your mini-map. So if you put your tablet, so you're playing on your console, you have your tablet beside you, you can use your tablet as a mini-map, an enlarged mini-map, which is very helpful, especially, I mean, I'm not a PC gamer myself, but I know a lot of people play dual monitors, so it's going to be very helpful for them.
But I want to see that implemented onto the consoles
somehow.
Because I'm pretty sure they're not going to be on consoles, because it's like running two different games almost.
For the consoles, it would be the tablet / phone, that kind of stuff. So you would have the game running on your console, and then say you have the tablet beside you. You'd open up. All you need to open is battle log. You wouldn't have to open anything else.
Yeah, but I think that'd be kind of, I don't know, kind of counterproductive, because if you have your tablet open or your phone open beside you, and you're always glancing away from the actual screen you're playing on, that's, you know.
It doesn't necessarily have to be like that. You get your own mini-map that comes in on your HUD. This is just, I guess, to help. I mean, I don't know really, like, the use. I wouldn't say the uses. I mean, you know, it's for the second. I understand it's for the second screen, but why though? Like, why would you need a second screen? You have the mini-map on your own. So.
Very true.
And speaking of the mini-map and the HUD, the new spawn screen, I don't know if you have seen it, it's completely different from the Battlefield 3. It basically shows the whole battlefield and all the objectives, and you can interact with the spawn screen. So instead of like choosing just a bar that says, you know, objective A or B. You actually can click on your squad mate or a tank or an objective, and it'll allow you to spawn there. So it's a bit different, and the customization menu is totally different.
I didn't know about the spawn screen actually. I didn't see any pictures of the new spawn
Yeah.
screen.
I haven't seen anything except the alpha gameplay is the only thing I've seen so far.
Well, the new spawn screen is like a huge mini map. So it's not a mini map. It's basically the map of the battlefield. It's basically what you see in commander mode, except you can spawn in at places. And when you click on, say, like you click on a tank or a teammate or an objective, it goes to a camera that's on that tank, teammate, or objective, and it kind of shows you what's going on. So it kind of gives you a heads up of, hey, you know, I'm getting pinned down. You don't want to spawn on me.
I think that's going to be really, really good, because I can't tell you how many times I've spawned on people and totally disregarded my spawn immunity and started running and just died instantaneously.
Yeah, that's going to be very helpful. I've done the same thing numerous times. Like,
I don't know anybody who hasn't.
I want to revert back to customization for like the 17th time. More of gun selection. You guys think we're gonna see any different guns or maybe something kind of futuristic?
We do see the I believe it's the XM25, the grenade launcher that you can you shoot. It shoots over cover and explodes behind it, which is really interesting.
and the support gets that, right? Sorry.
Yeah, the support gets that. And you know, besides you know, the different grenades, there's also new assault rifles, and there's new snipers.
I know there was a lot of buzz about bringing some of the Bad Company 2 guns back into Battlefield 3. Maybe that'll actually happen in Battlefield 4 if there's enough demand for it.
Like, I mean, what kind of weapons do you mean? 'Cause
I'd have to look some up really quick.
No, it's fine. I'm just saying, because Bad Company was set before, not much before Battlefield 3. So, unless you mean weapons like, for example, the XM8 prototype, I know that was... It didn't really fit in that timeline.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I was actually thinking about that one. I know really the only assault weapon it looks like is the G3 that made a comeback. Or the AEK, yeah, okay. I've got a list in front of me and it's just, I don't really remember Bad Company 2 that well with all the weapons and such. But I know the XM8 prototype was a big favorite, and I've seen a few discussion threads to where the point that people really wanted it to make a comeback. And, you know, the timeline's kind of messed up, but I don't know.
Seeing how we've spent quite a bit of time on customization, this is just a small point, but I've always wanted to be able to add DLC vehicles to previous maps. So if you take, for example, in Battlefield 3, you have the dirt bikes in the end game. What I was thinking is, if you could add the dirt bikes to a map like Vanguard Desert, where there are a lot of jumps and sand dunes, it would fit very well. So I don't know if they want to do a feature like that, but it would be very interesting if they did.
I know it's a really wanted feature in Battlefield. I know a lot of people have talked about having other vehicles in other expansion packs and vanilla maps, and I think it should be done. Like, it should be a server setting. But then I'm not entirely sure, how often it would be used.
Yeah, I see.
Yes. Well, that might be another thing that they implemented, the customization. Like I said earlier, when we were talking about the server settings, perhaps you could, pick the maps and set up your rotation, and then possibly pick what vehicles you want to put on the maps. Like Addy, you pointed out, to bring the dirt bikes on the Bandar. Maybe, pick which helicopters you want on a map, or if you want an LAV or not on the map, or something along that kind of thing.
I see your point, but I kind of want to say that would get unfair, because then the admins can choose, or admins or owners, if you can get your own server, but it would get to the point where they would keep, you could have pretty much every single vehicle on, if it's a smaller map, if you see my point.
Yeah,
It's a small map, people would have the option to put every single vehicle on there, and it would just get ridiculous.
I do think that would be amazing, though.
Yeah.
It would be, but
every vehicle,
enjoy it.
Every vehicle on Grand Bazaar.
Every vehicle on Metro.
There must be an attack chopper in the tunnels. It has to be done.
I don't know. That DICE is a very creative establishment. I guarantee they're going to have an answer to all these questions and many, many more.
And I'm sure we'll find out, the closer we get to the launch date.
Of course.
Because, right now, most of this is speculation, and there's nothing we can do about it. But it's a great thing to, wander and maybe, find out things you didn't know in the long run.
Yeah, I do enjoy DICE as a development. As a developer of games, they've proven to be quite reliable in the past with their track record.
It's very true. I just hope that well, not hope. I'm pretty sure that Battlefield 4 will bring many more people over to the Battlefield series, and I seriously hope it will be much more.
I do believe I believe that'd be something I'd like to see, is a more diverse group of people other than people that have come from Call of Duty. Maybe people that, have never played a Battlefield game, that have only stuck to Tom Clancy's series. I'd like to see a bunch of more diverse group of people other than just shooter fans come over here.
Yeah.
Alright, well, thank you for your discussion. It's great speculating all this stuff with y'all. And, maybe you'll be on the another roundtable sometime.
Looking forward to it, man.
Alright, well, thank you, and enjoy your Battlefield.